Even I'm dizzy now. Jump scare that was, because guess what? I'm not the one who normally does it, so if you're a normal viewer of this channel, you're like, whoa, what the hell is this person doing? I know, I'm scared as well. Anyway, if it's your first time here, welcome. And if it's not, welcome to Dudes Talk Cinema. Now, it is me, Dusty, joined with Ollie and NerdTube, which you'll see very shortly, very directly. I should have just said directly. Doesn't matter. That's Cornish if you didn't know. Anyway, we are here on a Saturday. I know, a Saturday. We don't normally work on a Saturday, you know, because we're in bed doing something. Going honk shoe. Anyway, but today is different. We're watching Masters of the Universe. I have the power! Okay, so now the intro is out of the way. Yeah, you thought it was me? No. You gotta go look at Ollie's before thoughts first, and then NerdTube, and then mine. Mine's are usually the longest and the most boring to watch, I think. But hey, those people, they know what they're talking about. Anyway, on to Ollie.
Thank you, Dusty, for that amazing intro. I've got the other boys here, NerdTube.
Hello, people of the internet!
And we have the new guest. State your name and... Well, actually, we'll state your name in a bit when we do the before thoughts.
Hello. How's everybody doing? My hair is in my face! Ah! I look hot. It's great.
Cool, right. So, as Dusty mentioned, I'm going to do my before thoughts first, and then we're going to do, I think, NerdTube next, and then we'll do Cameron last. Actually, no, not last. Dusty's going to go last, because he wants to be last, so it's going to be me, NerdTube, Cameron, then Dusty, so take it away, me, I guess. Right, my before thoughts on Masters of the Universe. Very little to say, to be honest, because I have literally almost zero history with this IP franchise, whatever you want to call it, so that's it. So, He-Man, the only bit of information I know about He-Man is that notorious meme, the yeah, that one. Very old meme. Classic. Dusty reminded me of it the other day when he showed me, so thanks for that, Dusty. But apart from that, don't know anything about He-Man, don't know about the franchise Masters of the Universe, so yeah, the main guy looks hot, Nicholas 𝔲𝕠, whatever the hell his name is, but I know him from one other film apart from this, and that is Bottoms. No, he does not get his ass out in that film, unfortunately, but he plays a jock in the film, very stereotypical jock. It's basically like a teen comedy. It's a great film. Definitely recommend you check it out. But I haven't seen him anything else apart from seeing the trailers for this. So yeah. Because the director Travis Knight, NerdTube reminded me. I think he directed 𝔬𝕝 and the Two Strings, which I've yet to watch. I really want to watch that. Perfect segue for the samurai sword. And he's also is he doing Wildwood as well? The new one, Wildwood. So Travis Knight, not too familiar with him, but I hope for the best and hope he does a great job directing and all that other jazz. So yeah, I don't know. Well, Idris Elba's in this as well. Trying to think of everybody else. Of course, Jared Leto himself. Joker. Yeah, he's Skeletor. Don't know anything about Skeletor either. So literally fresh. I'm going in fresh as a new viewer of this franchise. Just going in as a fan of action, fantasy, adventure type films. So I just hope it's good. Hope I have a good time. And I think that's really about it. So NerdTube.
Now, I might have a bit more knowledge to He-Man, but not to the extent where I'm like an absolute obsessive with the lore. But there was, like, He-Man is based on like a 1980s cartoon from what I've known. And He-Man is supposed to be about this character who's supposed to be in this kingdom of Grayskull. It's a fictional universe, obviously, and that Skeletor is the arch enemy of He-Man in most of the depictions. And then there was like there was a movie before this one came out, of the same name, Masters of the Universe, but I think it's a lot less based on the show. And Skeletor looks ugly as fuck in that makeup. And now, when I heard that Travis Knight was directing this movie, the remake of Masters of the Universe, I was a bit surprised, to be honest, because the last time I've known about him was from his studio of Lycan. I've watched 𝔽𝕚𝕝 ℚ𝕣𝕚. I do recommend it to you, Ollie. It's absolute cinema, beautiful animation, stunning story, absolutely great characters. But anyway, he also I think he directed the Bumblebee movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, great film, starring the amazing and beautiful Haley Steinfeld and the epic John Cena. And I was a bit surprised when he was going to make this movie. I did not know who the actor was. He was going to play He-Man, which kind of shocked me. And then there's Skeletor. I heard Jared Leto was playing him. Throughout most of Jared Leto's filmography, I'm very skeptical to this one, because knowing his filmography, Jared Leto is not a great actor at all. Because like mostly I've watched one of his films. I think it's the only good film he's been in. It's supposed to be about these kids who take drugs, and then this Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah, and
I like that one. That was probably the only good film he was in. And like other than that, he's just absolutely shit in any other film. And I'm so skeptical to this, because I'm worried that this movie's gonna bomb. Because like from what I've seen in his filmography record, like Blade Runner's bombed, Morbius is bombed, and I'm worried this one's gonna bomb. But other than that, I don't have far too many thoughts to this film. I'm just keeping my expectations low as possible at the minute, because I want to enjoy a good movie with the boys. Anyway, that's all I got. On to you, Cam.
Hi, I'm Cameron, or Kamza. I'm a special guest in today's episode. I'm so excited, yeah! I don't know much about this film's history. I just know that there was a very awesome Transformers and Masters of the Universe collaboration like the 80s, where there was this cheetah toy that transformed into a robot, and it was very, very beautiful. It was part of like the Beast Wars collection, I think it was. But the blonde guy, I can't remember his name, but I saw some biceps, and I am wet already. I am very hot for this man. I haven't seen him before. His forehead's a little big. Like, he's got a little bit of a big forehead, but apart from that, he's so good. I am quite confident about this movie. I know nothing about it, like I said, but I've seen the trailer, and the trailer does look really fun. The cinematography looks pretty good. I'm not keeping my expectations too high, because I don't know what to expect from it. But there's quite a few. It seems like it's a bit like actiony, there's lasers, sci-fi stuff, so I'm a sucker for sci-fi, so I'm hoping this will be a really good film to watch.
And you're a sucker for He-Man.
I'm a sucker for He-Man, yeah. I would do things to that man. Yeah, that's my thoughts. Really not got too many before thoughts. Running a little short on time, so I'm gonna keep it nice and short and sweet, but hopefully I'm excited. Hopefully this is a good film. Now I'm going to pass the microphone over to Dusty.
Okay, so now that Ollie and all have done their little bits, now it's my turn to do the before thoughts. Obviously, as you saw them there over there, I'm over here because it's a little less chilly over there. No, over here. One of them. Right, so Masters of the Universe. What do I know? Now, my family has a nice history with it, actually. My mum and my uncle grew up with it, and then I discovered the, you know, that YouTube video. I'm sure Ollie will play a very quick clip of it. Hey! So, He-Man and She-Ra have always been, and Skeletor I guess, have always been somewhere in my life, some point at time. It's never gone away. So, I've never seen the original series, I've never seen the original live action, but I did watch all of it to completion on Netflix, the DreamWorks She-Ra series. That was pretty good. It was pretty good. And then I watched I think it's Kevin Smith, the Master of the Universe, the one with He-Man, obviously. First season, and the animation for the first season, very good. I don't care what people are saying, like, people whine. All they do is whine. Just get on with it. So, season 2 wasn't as good, but animation wise for season 1 and story wise for season 1, very solid, very good. But overall, I've got a positive, look on that franchise. It's always been that. It's just been there. Like yeah, that's what Jazz said that earlier. I'm pretty sure, something like that. And the other one, if there is another one, I can't remember. Oh yeah, of course, Ollie. He's the one holding the camera. Duh. Sorry, my brain's all over the place today. Oh. Yeah, I think out of all of them, I've got the most positive outlook on this. But how about the film that we're going to go see? What do we think of this from what I've seen now? I've seen the first trailer in the cinema when I saw Mortal Kombat. Now, yeah, exactly, Mortal Kombat, yeah. It's a good film, you should watch it. The second one's brilliant, I'd say. Going into this one, I think the angle they're going, where Adam was sent, from, I forget what it's called, Eternia, I think it was called, to Earth, our world. It's a plot point that comes up in a lot of series and shows and films and programs, like Sonic, the first Sonic film. Sonic gets sent to Earth, so it just depends how well they execute that, because it can either be kind of interesting, or it could be a nice introduction to the Masters of the Universe. Yeah, it was funny, yeah. But we don't know. But I do have to say, from what I've seen for the costumes, they look good. Even Jared Leto's Skeletor, he looks good. I will have to say that. But other than that, they haven't actually, at least from what I've seen, they haven't shown Adam turning into He-Man. That will be a good reveal, I'm sure it will be. But Sir Idris Elba is in it as well. I forget the name of the man he's playing, but the character he is playing is supposed to be white, which obviously I ain't got an issue with. If you can bring a fresh perspective to that character, there's no issue to it. So when people shut up, let's move on from that, because that's just a pain in the butt. That's a whole palaver. But Sir Idris Elba, he's one of my favourite actors. I don't doubt that he won't kill it in this film. I feel like he'll probably be the shining part of this film. Because anything he's in, it's a good time, at least for me. So, if anything, going in, Sir Idris Elba I've got high hopes for. The rest will remain to be seen, because there's many different adaptations of the Masters of the Universe, so which version, but what are they going to do this time? I know, right? Yeah! Jansen, stop, he's choking on Doritos again. Yeah, anyway, well, that's my Thor thoughts. I don't think we did Jansen. Did we do Jansen? No, yeah, because he's choking on bloody Doritos, he's on the floor, collapsing, dying. That's enough for me, and you will see me afterwards, when I review the film, which I might be by myself, if so. But that's alright, that just means I had to go home early, or they had to. One or the other, we'll figure it out. So anyway, do I get to do the honours? Roll the preview.
Hang on, it's about to get weird.
It seems the prince has returned.
It's so great.
Hell yeah.
sister! Damn!
Think it might be She-Ra.
There's a sister!
That was some good shit.
Okay, we are out of the film. Of course, I'm going to go first. It just makes sense that we do it in the order that we did the before thoughts. So I'll go first, Nato will go next, and then Cameron, and then Dusty's thoughts as well. So, what did I think? Again, someone who has basically no experience with this franchise or IP. So I know nothing. I had no knowledge of the lore or really any of the characters at all, except for obviously, He-Man himself. If I'm being honest, I thought it was okay. I mean, there were some good things in there, and there were some iffy things in there as well for me. So obviously we do the positives mix the negatives. So my positives, I thought, I keep forgetting his last name, but Nicholas Ghilzini, I'll put it in the edit. But he plays He-Man, of course, Adam. I thought he was great. I thought he was pretty good. I think he played a good protagonist. I also did like... I liked 𝕬𝕗 Elba as well. Weird hearing him with an American accent, because he's British, and, he's one of us. So Sir 𝕬𝕗 Elba, Sir 𝕬𝕗 Elba. I liked, is it She-Ra, is that her name? No, not She-Ra. The female counterpart for He-Man. She was good as well. The effects were good. The fighting was great as well, I would say. One of the best parts, especially near the end. Yeah, I think I definitely could see on the corner of my eye, Nerty was definitely like, yeah, at the bit with He-Man and Skeletor, near the end. No, not shagging. So, yeah, action's great. Acting, for the most part, good. Effects were good. I may have repeated myself, but screw it. The music was good as well, I'd say. I'm going to go into my mixed. Jared Leto as Skeletor. I like the look. The good thing I like about him is his look. I think his design's cool. The glowing red eyes, the skull head. I think they did great with hit the effect of the skull head, and I think his design's cool. His kind of costume, whatever, is cool. But his character, kind of general villain, really. He's not anything special, really. Kind of just wants to rule the planet or realm, whatever it is. I've forgotten already. Yeah, I thought he was okay. I mean, I think it's just the fact he's Jared Leto. Like, if you knew it was Jared Leto, which I did, it's kind of like, Jared Leto. Whereas if I didn't know who he was, then I might think a bit differently. But it's Jared Leto. So I thought he was okay. Looked cool. Villain-wise, he was alright. I thought there's another mix as well. Two mixed, I think. I don't think the story was mixed. It was kind of just, again, kind of an average story. Hero, gets banished from their realm, their kind of fantasy realm. Lives on Earth for most of their life, throughout their childhood, whatever, and then kind of comes back to claim it, I guess. It's kind of just the same old traditional fantasy action film plot, really. It was fine. It was good enough, I think, but it was just kind of, same old shit, really. I think that was it for my mix. I feel like there might be one more, but I'll get back to it if I need to. But my main negative, I'd say, is the humour. There was one thing I did like, which I should have mentioned in my positives, which was the recurring joke of Fisto. Was that what his name is? Yeah. Fisto. I was hoping maybe they would go, he fists people, and I was like, oh, they probably won't. And then they said that. I was like, cool. All right. That was the only kind of real funny bit that I laughed at really out loud. But other humour was kind of hit and miss, really. It was. I mean, it's a kids' film. I understand that. It's a 12A, PG-13, whatever you Americans say. It's you know, it's kids' humour mostly. A couple of adult jokes which are kind of funny for the adults watching the film, but I thought the humour was very hit or miss. I think that's actually it, really. Yeah, what would I give this? I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. Yeah, say 3-star. Thought it was fine. I was coming into the film hoping to have at least an average good time, which I guess I did. But I was hoping at least I was gonna really enjoy it. But it was fine. Like, again, it's not really aimed at my age demographic, but also again, didn't really know much about He-Man. Oh, that was another thing I wanted to talk about, was I think that was the mixed that I was missing, which was the lore. I liked maybe a little bit more lore to it. I don't know if there is much more lore to He-Man than what they've already shared in the film, but would have liked a little bit more, you know, as someone who hasn't experienced this IP again. Might be a hot take for this, but if I have to be completely honest in my thoughts, as I always am. So yeah, 6 out of 10, 3-star for me. Again, wasn't bad, wasn't great, but it was fine. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Pass on to NerdTube.
Well, I gotta say, that was some pretty good shit I watched. Now, on to my good. The positives. He-Man. I really enjoyed watching He-Man on the screen than I originally thought, because I thought like they were going to do a generic Marty Stu type of protagonist, where he's all perfect, everyone likes him. I'm glad that they stripped that down and deconstructed him to become a much more masculine character. And I like how they handled the idea of masculinity with his character, that he's not all tough and rough and stoic and all that. I liked that they added some femininity to him, although some of the humor with him was a bit off sometimes, but it does justify it with the enjoyment of his character. Because I feel like obviously this film was trying to make him a bit more comedic with him, which I thought was a bit of an issue, to be honest. But then again, that flaw has been overlapped by the enjoyment of his character. I liked Warrior Goddess, which she gets named as at the end of the film. I thought she was really fun to watch, and not being a bitch. As like you get with most action women heroes. I don't know what the term for it is. Like she's a bit impulsive, I'd say, sometimes, and is a bit pissed off with her dad, which is reasonable. He's a bit of a drunk in the film. I liked that she plays a supporting role for He-Man, and that she gets to be her own character in the film instead of the standard love interest. The only thing I gotta take away is that she friend-zoned my boy. I'm hoping that if they ever do the sequel, they change that, and that they give He-Man some riz. I loved Skeletor. I loved seeing Skeletor on screen. I thought he was very much of an enjoyment to watch. I loved how unapologetically evil he was, which obviously is in contrast to He-Man. I loved how they got everything in the costumes to the world. Just looks like the show to the T. And I loved the first 10 minutes of the film, because it did give us some exposition. The narration did explain to us without having to like overly show everything. And I loved the climax and the ending, especially the final battle between He-Man and Skeletor. I could just orgasm myself just from watching that. Now, onto my mixed. I feel like, well, who's Idris Elba's character? I forgot what the guy's name. Dad. So I'm just gonna say Idris Elba's characters for now. So Idris Elba's character I felt was a bit mixed, because I feel like he could have done a bit more in the film, to be honest. Especially like with his, because I would have loved to have seen it with another matchup in the second act between him and the guy who defeated him in the first 10 minutes of the film. that would have been great. That would have been great, because like we would have saw him fail again and again, and then the next time he meets him, especially in the climax, it would feel a lot more rewarding. Which, yeah, it does. It's rewarding, yeah, but it's not as rewarding as I hoped it would be. And then there's Robota, who's the giant battle robot. I didn't think she got a lot to do in the film except like open the door for the characters who were trapped in the prison. She didn't, I don't think she had a role at all, except like just shoot shit. And then then there's the humor, which is very hit or miss, because like Ollie mentioned, like Fisto, when they like He-Man mentions like he fists things or fists people.
Yeah.
That's funny at first. Second, it's it gives me a chuckle, but then a third time it's like, oh, okay, I think you're overdoing it a bit. Which is probably the prime example I can come up with. Although I did get like a couple of chuckles here and there. But other than that, I enjoyed the film. I don't think I have any negatives to bring up, to be honest. So I think my rating for this film will probably be a 7 out of 10. So it's a good movie. Not perfect. I feel like if they could have made the second act a bit more exciting or interesting, then I would have pushed it up to an 8. But overall, I enjoyed the film. 7 out of 10. On to you, Cameron.
So, positives. The film itself was quite enjoyable. I enjoyed most of it. The comedy was really good, so we'll start with positives. As always, it's really good. Skeletor, absolutely funny. He kind of gives me very much temper tantrum kind of I want to rule the world type deal, and I loved that. It was really funny. Seeing kind of how he'd basically have a very toddler tantrum type style if things didn't go his way. He reminded me a little bit of Megatron for some reason. I don't know, it's the eyes, it's kind of the kind of dark I'm a villain type stuff, but I really liked him as a character. He-Man, the thighs on that man, I'm just a little bit more gay for him now. He was a brilliant character. I did really love the comedy, the subtle jokes and everything. I love when kind of Skeletor picked him up and mentioned his glistening thighs and all that. It was really funny. Makes you chuckle, makes you laugh. The fish joke was hilarious the first time. I did think it was a little bit repetitive, but it still made me chuckle, so not too fussy with that. Warrior Goddess, what a beautiful woman she is. She played the role brilliantly. I really liked her character. Yeah, in a lot of movies, sometimes you get women characters that are kind of background, but she was very much up front. She was very much a badass, which is really good. I did like her dad as a character. I liked kind of like how I did hope to see him 15 years later and kind of him be all worn down and tired and all this stuff. I was really hoping that he wouldn't just spring back and be fine, and he did. He was very kind of drunk and out of it for a lot of the film. A negative that I do have of that is I feel like he jumped back into his like prime way too quickly. I feel like when he saw the armor, I was kind of hoping he would be a bit I'm too fat for this, I'm too old, but no, he kind of was like, yeah, drunk for the boys. Another negative is I do think that there are some bits of the movie that were just very fast paced. I mean, they crash land in this little forest, and then rather than come up with a proper strategy, they're like, right, let's run straight back to the area that we just escaped from. It kind of takes away the point of them even escaping if you're just going to go straight back there straight away. I did like kind of the special effects was really good, the cinematography was really good. I like the fact that it's led up to things that can happen in the future. Can't say what, obviously. That was really good. What other negatives have I got? I did really hope to see more of a standoff between the dad and the little claw fella. I was really excited when we saw him on the spaceship. He was shooting at him. I was kind of really frustrated. I did kind of have a little bit of inside sigh, like what the fuck, when he just so easily defeated him. Like I didn't feel like we really saw a redemption arc for that dad. He just kind of punched him. Like in the first battle, there was a lot of badass going on. There was a lot of like kick ass, use weapons, use your strength to your advantage. There was none of that, and I felt like that was kind of taken away from us as an audience, which was annoying. I felt like kind of it was a very cheap way of him being like, okay, let's give him his moment and let's just move on, you know. I did like the tiger. I was hoping they'd bring the tiger back. It was really funny to have that. The robot, when you have a robot like that in the movie, Solo did it as well, it's really hard to have a robotic character voiced that's kind of, it's like it's got its own personality. You've really got to give it a personality, and I thought with the tone of the character, it was really funny. I loved, like, she was a bit bitchy, being like, I don't clean up after you, do it yourself. But she kind of got destroyed and kind of didn't really have much of a moment. Like, she was kind of just there, as ℕ𝕣𝕚 said, to just kick the door down, and that was it. It did kind of feel like a waste, and I'm not too happy about that. But I would have loved to have her see, like, have this cool moment where I was really hoping she would stand on the bridge by herself, and she would have this moment where she would hold everyone off, and she would have that aura moment where she was the main character for a second. And they didn't give her that. They didn't really give much of a sad dialogue. She was just like, oh shit, and then she kind of was, that's it. She's just a head on the floor. That was a waste, I think, but I'm hoping they bring her back for the future, maybe. That's really the negatives that I've got. Like, just kind of the dialogue was a little hit or miss, but that could be worked on. Overall, it made up for it with this cinematography, which I was really happy with. I'm going to give this film a 6.8. It was going to be a 7, but obviously there are some scenes that I weren't happy with, and that had to jot my point down. But 6.8 I'll take. So
we only allow solid points. 6, 7, 8.
6, 7.
You motherfucker.
In that case, I'll narrow it down to a 6. I'm gonna have to narrow it down to a 6, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm gonna rate it a 6 out of 10. Right, over to you, Dusty.
Okay, so my phone is kind of low, so hopefully I can get what I want out. So, overall, alright, but let's start off with the bad. The bad, one glaring issue, Skeletor's voice. There's a few times where I was just like, I didn't understand what you said, mate. Not a bloody clue, because it was like, I was like, what? And I know he said a word there because someone else understood it. I was like, and I think it's probably just a me thing. So there's a few times where I was just like, I need subtitles for Skeletor. Alright, but other than that, some of the green screen, some of the green screen is very, very noticeable. But you do get practical sets on this, so I can sort of forgive them for, you know, some of that stuff, because there's clearly been care and love into the making of this film. The good, did I say mixed? I don't know if I said mixed. Mixed. I think some of the story was a bit iffy, especially near the beginning part, just getting there. But once he gets going, it is actually really, really good, and it amazing climactic. I'll leave it at that. And then there's 2 post-credit scenes. And the first one's just like a funny little, hey look, it's that character from the series from yonks ago, remember him? Yeah. Look at my kitty, hello. Yeah, hang on, scams. Anyway, and then there's one after. Big, major spoilers, so at the end, they tease She-Ra, Adora, which is Adam's sister. And the glimpse they showed of that, and like the setting and what they're doing with the story part of that, I hope this makes loads of money. I want to see that, because it looked good. it looked really good and I really want it. But yeah, other than that, I very much enjoyed my time with it. Very, very much. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so when I went in, I got in about half hour early, and so I thought, okay, I'll just go for a nap. So I went, and then I woke up just as the film started, and I was just like, huh? This is like, where? Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, where? I'm just like, oh, I slept. And then only on the way back did I realise, oh my days, I slept through all the adverts, and I woke myself up for dead on the film. So I mean, yeah, that's my fault, but I woke up just as the film basically pressed play. So I'm surprised I even did that, because if I missed out on it, I would have been very gutted, because I was very pleased with what I saw in this film. Is it 10 out of 10 amazing? No. Is it mediocre like the trailers made it look to be? No. It ramps up, and it's like, whoa, you know, it's one of those sort of films. And yeah, as I said, beginning takes a bit to get going, but once it gets going, it's very good, and it's very much worth your time. I promise you that. So yeah, I would give the film 4 out of 5 stars, which I guess would be 8 out of 10. Finally did it. Now, I wonder what the others said.
So yeah, that's all of our thoughts. So if you enjoyed this video, please, of course, give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Comment below if you've had a chance to watch Masters of the Universe. Let us know in the comments below what you thought of the film. Did you like it? Did you not like it? All that jazz. What would you rate the film? And obviously I want to thank NerdTube, of course, for joining.
Thank you all.
And of course our first guest, and hopefully he will return, because it was fun.
Sigma. Hey guys, thank you very much.
So yeah, so that's it. I don't know what the next review will be, out of the cinema review will be. You'll see. I don't know what it'll be yet, but I can think of potential ones they could be, but I don't want to say in case we don't, so just stick around. We have Instagram, so that's where we post our announcements. Either I post them or put them on our story, so keep an eye out, and you'll see future announcements there. So thanks again for watching, guys, and see you in the next video. See ya.
Sayonara.
Au revoir.